So, what attitude actually is? Attitude has been widely studied in organization behavior because it is considered as an important variable of human nature or human behavior. Attitude has a psychological attribute that shapes human behavior. Work-related attitudes of individual tends to influence jobs related to the behavior of an employee, such as absenteeism, performance, turnover, and organizational citizenship behavior very strongly. If we come to the actual meaning and definition of attitude, attitudes are evaluative statements which are frequently used to describe people, events, and objects. This statement can be either favorable or unfavorable. Attitude reflects one's feeling towards particular object, events, or person. For example, when I say I like this pen, with the help of this statement, I'm expressing my favorable attitude towards the pen. Therefore, we can say that attitude is a band of mind or towards a certain actions. It shows persistence tendency of an individual to act or behave in a particular manner towards some object. According to G.W. Alport, attitude is a mental and neutral state of readiness organized through experience, exerting a directive and dynamic influence upon an individual response to all objects or situations with which it is related. Attitude is a tendency or predisposition to evaluate an object or symbols of that object in a certain way. Or else, by attitude, we can mean beliefs, feelings, and action tendency of an individual or group of individual towards object, ideas, and people. Quite often, person objects or ideas become associated in the mind of individuals and as a result attitude become multidimensional and very complex. In the next slide we are going to cover nature of attitude. From the definition of attitude discussed above, some of the interface can be drawn about the nature of attitude. That is, attitude are evaluative statements, either it can be favorable or unfavorable. Attitude refers to the feeling or beliefs of an individual or group of individuals. These feelings and beliefs are often directed towards the object, people, or event or ideas. For example, when somebody asks, somebody says, I like my job. It shows a positive attitude towards his or her job. Moreover, attitude results in behavior and action of a people. Lastly, attitude is also a psychological phenomenon which cannot be observed directly, or we can say it can be noticed indirectly by noticing behavior of an individual. For example, if a person is very regular on the job and perform very well on his or her job, then we can judge that he likes his own job. Moreover, attitudes are acquired over a period of time. The process of attitude formation starts from childhood stage of an individual and continues throughout the lifetime. Attitude is also an enduring characteristics of individual behavior which is difficult to change, and every person is irrespective to his actions and intelligence that holds attitude. Now we come here to the slide which is about measurement of attitude. Measurement of attitude typically involves various methods including opinion surveys, interviews, and scale techniques. What is opinion survey? Opinion survey are a common method used to ensure to measure attitude. These surveys usually involves a distribution of a questionnaire for a sample of population, and respondents are asked to indicate their agreement and disagreement with a statement related to attitude being measured. The surveys can be conducted through various means and including paper-based questionnaires or online surveys, telephonic interviews, or face-to-face interviews. Here we'll cover the advantage and disadvantage of opinion surveys. Surveys allow for the collection of data from a large number of respondents, providing a broad perspective on attitude within a population. And they are relatively easy and very cost effective to administer, especially with the ability of online survey platforms. Now, about disadvantages. Response bias may occur when the respondent may provide socially desirable answers rather than a true opinion. Secondly, surveys may lack the depth of understanding aptitude compared to the other matters like interview. Next, measurement can be by interviews. Interviews involves direct interactions to the researcher and the respondent. During interviews, the interviewer asks questions related to the attitude and being measured and probes more in depth responses. What happens is an interview can be structured, semi structured, and unstructured depending on the level of standardization in the questioning process. Advantages are interview allow more in-depth exploration of attitudes, providing richer qualitative data, and they enables the clarification of responses and probing to underline the reason behind their attitude. For example, it's easy for the respondent or for a candidate to give his or her clarification behind his answer. Disadvantages. Interviews can be time consuming and resource incentives, especially if conducted face to face. It means we need a whole setup, that is, an interview and a candidate, and having a proper setup, formal setup for an interview. Secondly, a perception of presence of an interviewer may influence the respondent answer, leading to a response biases. Third is scaling techniques. Scaling techniques are used to quantify attitudes by assessing numerical values to the respondent's responses. Various scaling techniques can be employed, including Likert scale, semantic difference scale, and Thurstone scales. Likert scales. Respondents are required to indicate their level of agreement and disagreement with a statement on a scale typically ranging from strongly agreed to strongly disagreed. Secondly, semantic differentiation scales. Respondents rate the object or concept on the set of bipolar adjectives, we can say that, such as good or bad, or we can say satisfied or unsatisfied. Third is Thurstone scale. Researchers identify a set of statements related to attitude being measured and ask respondents to indicate their agreement or their disagreement with each statement. Statements are often then ranked on the basis of degree of agreement and scores are assigned accordingly. If we talk about the advantages and disadvantages, scaling techniques provide a standardized way of quantifying attitudes, allowing for easier comparison and analysis of data. Secondly, they offer flexibility in capturing the intensity and direction of attitude. There are also the disadvantages that are faced, that is, interpretation of scale responses may vary depending on the context of wording to the scale. Scaling techniques may oversimplify the complexity of attitudes by reducing them to a numerical value. In practical, researchers often use a combination of these methods to gain a comprehensive understanding of attitudes within a population. Each method has been strengths and limitations. The researchers must carefully select most appropriate approaches based on their research objectives, resources, and the characteristics of the population being studied.